Hi everyone! Welcome back to my proper classical guitar position series. In this episode we're going to talk about your left hand position. So if you are right-handed, your right hand is going to pluck the string, your left hand is going to push down on the notes on the actual string. If you are left-handed, it's going to be the opposite. So your left hand's going to pluck, your right hand's going to push down. I am right-handed, so my right hand is plucking the strings, my left hand is pushing down on the strings to create different notes. So in order to create those notes and have good technique, good hand position, a healthy hand, there's some things you want to look out for when you're playing. So the first thing is, if you have your hand and arm and your shoulders on your left side, everything relaxed, and you just bend at the elbow to bring your arm up. That is what you want. So right now I'm at the 5th fret. So I just bent my elbow to bring my arm to the guitar. Now, if I move down to the first position, I'm going to bring my thumb and my elbow with me. So if I left my elbow behind, it would look like that. You don't want that. You also don't want your elbow too far out like this, where it's lifted and then your shoulder's lifted. That's creating tension in your shoulder and your arms, so you don't want to do that. I will say, when I was a student, an undergrad student, going for classical guitar performance, there was a period of time that I had a tendency to lift my arm like this. It was a tension thing, it was a bad habit. So these are things that you're going to have to look out for over time as you're playing. You know, you develop different habits, different things happen, you might not realize they're happening, so they're all things you always want to check and make sure you're doing correctly. And if you're forming a bad habit or you did form a bad habit, work on breaking that habit. So if we go back, we lift, we're here. Now, if I go to the first position, like I mentioned, my elbow's coming and my thumb is coming with me too. So let's talk about the thumb for a second. I know everyone has probably seen guitar players, if they play up here and they use their thumb to push down on a string and reach some bass notes. So that's easier to do on an electric guitar or regular acoustic guitar. It's a specific style of playing and it is used by certain players, but in classical guitar you are not going to want to do that. Even when I was first learning guitar, I started out on an electric guitar and I was taught to not do that either. So that's something that I was always taught is a no-no. Over time, you know, you see how different styles people use it, but you can't do it on classical guitar because the neck is a lot wider than an acoustic or an electric guitar. So you're not going to see that. It's also going to make things a lot harder. So say my thumb was too far down, it's going to be hard to reach some notes. If my thumb was also too far up and then I needed to change to like a different chord, maybe, I'd have to rearrange my whole hand, and you don't want to have to do that. So if you keep your thumb in a good spot that I'm about to show you, you're never going to need to move it in order to play something. You're going to need to bring it with you to shift positions, but once you're in a position, you're not going to need to move it at all. So with your thumb, you want to keep it in the middle of the neck of the guitar, so it's not too high and it's not too low. So when I have it, if you can see, I'm not going to have it too far up here and I'm not going to have it pushing out down here, because you don't want to push your hand out either. It's going to make it harder to reach. You don't want to have it pulled back either. You want to have it in the middle of the neck. So if I'm in first position, my thumb is in the middle of the guitar neck. And you want to think about your thumb and your middle finger like they have a magnet. So wherever your middle finger goes, your thumb is going to go. So if I go from first position to 5th, my thumb is now behind the 6th fret because that's where my middle finger is. This is going to set you up, if we go back to first position, my middle finger is above the 2nd fret. So in this case, you want to think about each finger is assigned to a fret. First finger, 1st fret, second finger, 2nd fret, and so on. So my thumb is aligned with the 2nd fret. It's behind the 2nd fret now. This way, all these fingers can comfortably reach all of these frets. If my thumb is too far this way, my hand is going to shift and it's going to be hard. Like even if I'm trying to stretch, my pinky is going to come up short and it's probably going to buzz if I play it, and it's not going to be on the fingertip, and it's not going to be a good hand position. So you start out in first position. You want your thumb behind the second fret. You also want to have your thumb slightly on its left side. This way your fingertips can be straight on the string, and you can push down with your fingertips. If your thumb is turned, so if I turn my thumb where it's straight on, like I'm giving a thumbs up, see how my hand turns this way to the side? And my fingers are out here, and I have to come in and turn in order to reach. So if my thumb is straight on, my fingers are going to be like this. If I turn, so I'm on the left side of my thumb, my fingertips can be straight on. You don't want it to the extreme where it's, you know, to the point on your nail, but you want it turned so you're on the more left side of your thumb, not straight on. That way your fingertips can be straight on, because you want to play with your fingertips and have them straight on the strings of the guitar. You also want space between the palm of your hand and your fingers and the neck of the guitar. So you don't want your palm touching the guitar. You want it in line with the guitar neck, but again, you don't want it touching. You also don't want your fingers to collapse on the string, because then you're going to deaden strings. So you kind of want to think about, there's something here, there's a little space here. If you can see, I have space between my hand and the neck of my guitar and my fingers. So you really want to also, once you have this, you want to think about curling your fingers in order to move. So that's what is going to play the notes, just curling your fingers and moving them to different strings. You don't want to push your hand out, pull your hand back. You don't want to move side to side like that. The thumb, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, all of this is going to stay relaxed and stay in place. And it's your fingertips that are going to do the moving and the playing. Again, this took me a while to get to this point. I did not start out this way. I had habits of moving and shifting when you didn't have to. And once you kind of sit down and really focus on just moving your fingertips, you kind of think, oh, wow, this is so much easier. I mean, at first it might be a little harder because you're breaking a habit and you're forcing something new to happen. But in the long run, you don't have to do all this extra work just to get notes in a position you're already in. So think about just curling your fingers and having them do the work and having them move, and everything else is going to stay in place. Now again, if you need to shift position, everything's going to come with you. So my elbow's going to come, my thumb's going to come, but all of this is going to stay relaxed. Everything is going to move with me in order to get a good left hand position higher up on the guitar. So now I'm in fifth position, and I still have my thumb in line with my second finger. My elbow isn't too far in, so you can kind of see it's in line with everything, nice and straight. If I move it, you see how my shoulder's going to move, my wrist is going to move, or if I'm too far out here, my shoulder's going to move. You don't want that either, so it's nice in line, just bending at the elbow. Kind of like you got, you know, weights and you're doing curls like that. But again, if it shifts, you got to bring it with you, but not too far like you're going to fly away, because you don't want to fly away. But this is for, you know, all up and down. You want to think about curling your fingers, using your fingertips to play. You want to think about keeping your thumb on the left side. That way your fingers can be straight on to the strings, no tension, just relax everything behind it, and you'll be good to go and ready to play. And also, remember, don't bring your thumb up here and don't push it out. I had a habit for a while too of kind of bringing my thumb too low and it was pushing out, and I didn't realize until it was pointed out to me that it was making it harder for me to actually push down on a string and pluck the string because I'm too far away. So if you got your good hand position with your left hand, you watched the video I made about the right hand, and all the other videos in this series, you will be good to go and ready to play. Have fun!